Hello and happy new year. It is January 1st, 2025, which is literally insane to say. A lot is happening this year for me. I say a lot, but it's literally just me turning 20, which is crazy. And now it feels like so real because now I'm in 2025 and I can't escape it. So I'm turning 20 in like 2 months and 2 days. So that's a whole other thing, and if I think about it too much I will cry because I just want to be a teenager forever. But other than that, today is New Year's Day, and I have never been a resolution kind of person. I feel like it's always been like, if you want to do something, just start now. Like, you don't need a new year to start things. And I feel like New Year's resolutions has always been a kind of like, oh, I want to do this more, I want to go to the gym more, like I'm gonna do this type of goal. And it would always be like goals and very strict kind of things, and it was always a kind of thing where if people didn't accomplish it they would feel bad about themselves. So that's why I never was like a really big resolution person. But I feel like this year especially, and maybe in like a few years prior as well, resolutions have really changed as to what they are. I feel like there's a lot more leniency, there's a lot more of like mindset resolutions rather than actual actions that you want to do. So I feel like they've become a more positive thing, and also something that's like, if you don't accomplish it, you don't beat yourself down about it, and it's just kind of putting it out there that you want to make this change, whether it's an actual action goal that you want to do, or a lifestyle change, or even a mindset change, or something you want to change about yourself personally. I feel like it's become a very broad kind of thing, and I have watched a few people's New Year's resolution videos, and I just feel so much more inspired by them than I ever was before. Like, I always felt like resolutions were kind of almost unattainable and almost unrealistic, whereas the videos that I've watched of other YouTubers doing it recently, it's very much like very attainable, raw and positive thing rather than something that you're being very strict on yourself about. So that's why I felt that this year I'm going to do New Year's resolutions. And I'm not a journaling person. I know a lot of people say like you have to journal, but I'm just not really like that. I don't know why. I think it's just like the thought of writing like physically. I feel like maybe if I was like a typer journaler I would do that, but I want to be like this cute aesthetic, like has this notebook and like journals super aesthetically, but I'm just like not, and especially when I'm like ranting, like it's never gonna look pretty on the page. So that's why I've never really journaled. But for this specific video of like having these New Year's resolutions, I think it's really, really good to actually have it on paper so that you can look back on it. And that's something I want to start doing is, you know, end of next year, I want to look back on my resolutions from this video and see like have my resolutions actually come true, like what have I done to actually go forth and make those changes. So I just think it's a very good thing to do for yourself, and like self-reflection. That's like the main reason I think I want to do it, because I want to be able to look on it in a year and be like, what did I do, what did I not do? Because I think it'll help me grow as a person, and I think it'll help anyone that doesn't grow as a person. So I don't want to just have resolutions and just like forget about them, you know, in the next year. Like, I want to be able to like keep reflecting. So that's why I've decided I'm going to write them down in my journal. So I have this journal, and yes, I did pen it during class because I was bored, but I've had this journal. It's actually my film journal, so I have all my film ideas in here. And should I have probably bought another journal for New Year's resolutions? Yes. I have a lot of journals back at home that I use for like studying and school related things, and I didn't bring one because I didn't even think about it, but I'm just going to use kind of the back of this journal, I think, to write my resolutions in it for this year. So I'm at the beach. I just got to the beach. I'm here alone. I really wanted to like make time to do this like by myself. I didn't want to like do it with like a friend because then I feel like I'd get distracted. I wouldn't be focused. I didn't want to make it like a family thing because of the same reason. Like, I feel like like I would get distracted. I just kind of want to sit with myself, with my thoughts, reflect, and just write these resolutions down. So I'm about to go down to the beach, and I'm not trying to make it a log thing. I just want to kind of write down everything that's on my mind, you know, all my resolutions and things like that. And then I'm going to share them with you. I don't know if it's going to be today. Hopefully I have time today because I do have plans after this. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and kind of explain what my deal is. Also, yeah, I'm in California right now. I forgot to mention that. I'm back home for winter break. And I've been here for a few weeks, and I'm here for, I think, 2 more weeks now. And I love being back home. So that's why I'm at the beach, because I actually haven't been to the beach yet since I've been here, I don't think. Well, I went like walking around the beach, but I haven't been on the sand. Like, I want to be on the sand. And I just feel super connected to the beach, so that's why I decided to go here. Like, yeah, I could do it outside at home or at home on the couch, you know, but I just wanted to be somewhere where like I could feel peaceful, and I just feel like whenever I'm at the beach, I feel like it's like home. So that's why I chose to do it at the beach, and I miss it so much. So yeah, I'm happy to be back home. Let's go down to the beach and start journaling. I found like the most perfect little spot. I'm sitting on a rock and I'm facing away from the sun because I forgot my sunglasses. Guys, that was literally one of the best things I've ever done. Like, just being able to be on the beach, which was beautiful, by the way. The weather is great. It's like a little bit chilly, but still like the sun is out and the birds are chirping and flying and the waves were crashing. It was just so relaxing. I did bring my AirPods, like just in case I wanted to listen to music and journal, but honestly, I've like forgot I even brought them. The moment I sat down, I was just kind of like in my thoughts and just ready to journal, and I totally forgot about my AirPods and music, and it was just so much more relaxing just not even like looking at my phone or having like that audio in my ears and just like literally listening to the sound of nature, and it just helped me focus so much more. And I wrote so many great things, and I'm so excited to share them with you guys. Unfortunately, I won't have time to at the moment because I'm driving my mom's car and we're all going to do something with family right when I get home, so I won't have time to talk through everything with you guys, even though I really want to, because I also feel like once I say everything out loud, it'll help even more, just solidifying those ideas that I wrote down. But I just wanted to pop in and say that I'm very glad that I did that, and it was a great experience. And I feel like I should do that more often. Like, I feel like it doesn't just have to be something at the beginning or end of the year. I feel like I should do it whenever I just like want to spend time with myself or like feel lost and like want to just literally spend time whenever I just literally want to spend time and just like think through my thoughts with myself. And does that mean I'm gonna become a journaler? Maybe I might be becoming a journaler, guys, because that was so like therapeutic, honestly, and I really needed that. And I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna start talking about what I was actually writing down, and I want to do that when I'm able to just sit down and talk through everything with you guys. So I will see you whenever that is. Hey guys, it's a few days later, change of setting, change of car. I'm in my dad's car now. I'm actually on lunch break at work, so I thought that while I had a little bit of time, instead of scrolling on my phone, I would finish this video and tell y'all about my New Year's resolution. So it's January 3rd today. So basically, as you saw the other day, I was journaling and I organized it pretty well. I'm pretty proud of like how I organized it, because usually I don't journal, so I'm not a very like writtenly organized person. Yes, I did just make that word up, writtenly. Yeah. So basically, I separated it in between hobbies, lifestyle / habits, mindset, and goals / accomplishments. I also put some things and marked things that I feel like I have already kind of started working on or have been working on, but it's kind of something I really want to like continue working on, if that makes sense. So I'm going to basically go through these and kind of, I guess, explain them, or if they don't need explanation, I don't have to give them. But I just hope this kind of maybe inspires you for your resolutions. And like I said the other day, I'm very happy that I did this. I feel like it was much needed. Also, I'm trying to figure out where to look, so I hope I'm looking at the right spot. Trying not to look at myself. I'm looking at the camera. Looking at the camera lens thing. Anyways. Okay, so with the first section, hobbies. My first one is to make more time for reading. So this means making more time as in like whenever I can, like whether it's during like a lunch break, like right now. I actually brought my book today, just in case I didn't end up filming this. I was gonna read instead. So, you know, making time before bed, or, you know, during lunch breaks, or even breaks during school, like between classes. But I'm just saying, like, you know, if there's ever a chance when I can pull out my book and read, to do that. So I want to like make more of an effort to basically like, I guess, bring my book places. Especially being so busy in school, it's really been hard. Like, I've been in such a bad reading slump. I read one chapter on New Year's Eve, and before that I hadn't read in like months, like the whole first semester of this sophomore year. Yeah, I want to make more of an effort to do that. And this is what I was talking about earlier, of like the difference between giving myself like a goal of like, I need to read 20 books, you know, in the span of, I don't know, a year, and I need to read this many books a month. Like, I never want to put that pressure on myself, because I know I won't do that. Like, that's just not my lifestyle. I'm taking off my seatbelt. Reading for me is very much a hobby, so I feel like when I'm reading, it's got to be more leisurely. So I'm just giving myself like, hey, like, read when you can, replace your phone with your book. Simple as that. I don't know why I talked about that for so long. Anyways, the next one on my hobbies is to go to the gym and work out when able. So this is one of the things I marked as something I'm already kind of doing. So basically, I've talked about this before, but I had to take a pretty long break from going to the gym because of some health things I was going through and surgery and everything like that. Now that I've kind of come back for that and have healed from that, I'm starting to go to the gym again. And like I said, this is something that I'm already doing, but I just want to continue doing in the new year, is like, you know, whenever I have time in the morning, I go to the gym, especially on weekends, sometimes throughout the week, you know. And it's, you know, obviously a little different when I'm in school. Now that I'm on break, I think I've been going to the gym more than I would when I'm in school. But when I'm in school, I would say I would probably go Saturday, Sunday. Maybe sometimes during the week, I guess we'll see with my schedule. But yeah, the third thing is start book journaling in a book journal. I got a book journal. I don't remember when it was, but I've had it for a little bit and I've never used it. So this year I want to start logging my books in a book journal. I've tried Goodreads. I don't know why, but I just can't keep up with it, but I do kind of want to try. So I'll kind of add this onto there, using Goodreads and a book journal, just to like keep track of like all the books, so I can look back next year and be like, how many books did I read? What kind of books did I read? Like when I look back, I can like remember remember my books, and I can rate them, and I can be like, oh, this is like one of my favorite books. This also goes into kind of the fact that I want to journal more, which I was talking to my dad about, and I didn't write it on here, but I'm going to add it. I think it's good to do things like this, especially when like you're in a rut with like life, and just kind of like doing something like this of like, what like changes do I want to make? Like, what do I want to do more of? Like, I feel like it doesn't have to be once a year starting the year. I think that's a good time to like set yourself up for success, but I think it's also good to still do it throughout the year whenever you're feeling in a rut. I found it very, very therapeutic, and I think it's going to help me grow as a person a lot if I keep doing it. And even though like I'd love to go to the beach, I don't go to school here. I go to school in Arizona. But even like just going to a cute cafe and journaling by myself, like I feel like that's something I really, really want to start doing. And that kind of goes into something I'll talk about later. Another hobby resolution that I have is doing archery in the summer. I used to be super into archery. During COVID is when I started getting into it. And I was doing pretty good. I just kind of stopped when I started going to school in Arizona when I moved. I have my bow with me. I was gonna join an archery class or archery club, and they just never got back to me. Don't know what that's about, but I don't know, maybe that club like isn't happening anymore or something. But I don't even know if there's a range nearby, but I kind of need to do more research on that. But I definitely want to do archery in the summer. I didn't bring my bow and arrows back to California when I came here in the summer break, but I want to do that this summer. I'm bringing my bow and I'm going to shoot those targets, and maybe I won't be good at it anymore, but you know what? I have so much fun doing it. My last hobby I put on here is don't be afraid to film in public / with friends. And this is one thing I marked as something I feel like I've already started doing. But I used to be super afraid of like filming with my friends because I don't know, maybe they'd be like, ew, like she's so lame. I don't know, like I was just embarrassed, I guess. I don't know why. And then recently I was watching this one YouTube girl, her name's Olivia, and she just does such a good job at like filming with her friends, and like they're just so supportive of her. And I was like, what am I doing? Like I can totally do that. And then I started doing that with my friends, and my friends are super supportive and like love my YouTube channel, so I'm like, oh, period. So I feel like that's something I've already started doing, but I guess making more of a habit too. I don't know why, I just feel awkward like pulling out my camera when I'm with my friends, but they love it, so I need to do that more, and that's something I want to continue doing. That's all for the hobbies. Next, I have lifestyle / habits. The first thing I have on here is to do more things alone. Don't wait for people to do things with you. This is something I've learned. I feel like I have to have someone doing something with me in order to do it. And I don't want to feel like that anymore, because you're missing out on like, even if it's the littlest thing, like going to a cute cafe, it's like you're missing out on these like little joys of life, and don't do that. The point is that I'm like, I'm going to do this with or without you. That's kind of my point there. And I feel like I want to start doing that more like in the future, is just like, even if it's little things, like just go alone, because you can't wait for other people to do things with you, or else you're going to miss out. You know, another thing I put on here is to cook more vegetables to incorporate into dinner. I've cooked zucchini before, love it. I want to learn how to cook broccolini, like just like vegetables that I like and that are good for me, because I'm gonna be so real, I never eat vegetables when I'm not home because I can't cook them. I'll maybe eat salad because it's easy, I just pop it in a bowl, but I'll never like be cooking vegetables. And I want to like cook vegetables in my dinner because #healthy. Anyways, next one is to say yes to partying with friends and experience more of being young. You can be a grandma later. Okay. I wrote this down literally because on New Year's Eve, like I said earlier, I pulled out my book. It was 11:45, so 15 minutes until midnight, New Year's. I was with my sister at home, and I didn't have any plans for New Year's, which was fine. I did stuff last year, and I partied, and it was great. And then the next day I was not feeling great, so I was like, oh, that's a great way to start the new year. But anyways, I was home and pulled out the book, and my sister was like, what person under the age of 70 reads a book on New Year's Eve? She was like, you're so old. And I was like, oh, she clocked me. Okay, I guess that just reminded me of like, she's so right. Like I have, from the time I don't know, 60 and up to be a grandma and be reading my book. Like, now is my time. Like, I'm about to be 20. Now is my time to like party. And of course, you don't have to go crazy. I'm not a crazy partier. I was telling my dad, like, that's something I've learned about myself, is like, I have to have at least a day notice. Like, if my friends are like, hey, you want to party tomorrow, I'll be like, yeah, totally. But if they ask me like a few hours before, I'll say no, because I have to like mentally get in like the mindset of like, I'm going to party tonight. I don't know why I'm like that. Like, I guess I feel like I need to be more spontaneous with like going out with friends and like, I guess, wanting to, but also it's okay to not want to. So I don't know, I'm kind of like in a little predicament about that, but I guess I want to just like, I guess, experience a little bit more of like just being young is my whole thing. Like, I want to be able to look back on college and be like, yeah, I had a fun time. I don't want to be like, no, I was a grandma reading a book at 11:54 and everyone else was out partying. You know? So yeah, but of course, like, it's okay not to party too. Like, I've learned that about myself. Like, I don't need to party in order to have fun at all. But at the same time, it's like, I want to still be young and have like these experiences. I don't know why I'm like that. Honestly, don't know. The next one is make an effort to make new friends. Stay in contact with new people you meet and make plans. That's something I feel like I've been struggling with recently, and I've like kind of had a therapy session with myself of like, why am I like that? Where like, I feel like I have had such a hard time making friends recently. I think I have a lot of trust issues with making friends. Like, I feel like I don't want to fully trust people and like put my heart into like making friends just for them to like betray me or hurt me or whatever it is. And also, I meet so many new people. And I'm just so bad at staying in contact with them. And I think it's because, like, I think last year, my freshman year, I was so good at like, I'd make a new friend, I would text them and be like, hey, let's hang out. Like, I would always like be like, let's go to this cafe, let's go get breakfast, let's go like to lunch together, like let's go get dinner together, just to like meet new people. And I think now that I'm in my second year, I'm like, oh, everyone has their friends now. But that's not true, because I also know people that are like, I want more friends. And I think I had this realization in one of my last classes this semester, where everyone was kind of like sharing like their reflection on like the class and everything. And so many people were like, I went into this class like not having like a lot of friends, and now I feel like I do. And I'm like, ugh, that's so real. Like, and it was just so crazy, because I thought it was just me that felt like that. And it's like, no, a lot of people feel like that, where they're juniors in college and they still feel like they don't have like a lot of friends. And that's just something I want to do. Like, if I vibe with someone, I meet someone, like, go and text them and hang out and make plans with them, because you're not going to make friends if you're not. On the same note, another thing I wrote down after that was, be more outgoing, but you don't have to be friends with everyone, but show people that you're friendly. Don't hide your true self because of fear of judgment or lack of trust. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, make those connections and be friends with those people that you feel like you vibe with and that are going to fulfill you and like that are going to be good friends to you, but you don't have to put pressure on yourself to be friends with everyone. I think that's something I was mixing up a lot this semester, of like, I would meet people and I'd be like, our ideas don't line up, our beliefs don't line up, like our lifestyles don't line up, but like, I still want to be friends with them. And it's like, no, you don't have, like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself to be like, I want everyone to be my friend? So don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, of course, be friendly and like, let them know that you're a good person, you're a nice person, and be outgoing, and don't hide who you are from them. Like, show your outgoing side of yourself, because I have a really outgoing side. I just feel like I hide it a lot. But at the same time, you don't have to be besties with them. I hope that makes sense. I know that was a lot of yapping. The next thing is, be a more honest friend. If your friend needs an awakening or advice, be the honest and truthful friend, not the agreeer. I feel like I'm such a person who's like, go along and agree with them anyway, because I'm like, I want them to be happy at the end of the day. And of course, like, that's great too, but sometimes you need to save your friends from being in a bad situation. You need to be that person that's like, hey, no, you deserve better than this. Like, stand up for yourself. You know what you deserve. You're worth more, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of want to be more of that friend. Obviously, I feel like that's a personality trait. It's not something I'm just gonna like be able to do easily, but it's something I want to grow, like, as a friend, is just being, you know, that friend that's like sympathizing, but also being that friend that's like, hey, enough of that. You know what I mean? This kind of goes into stuff I was talking about before, but the next one I wrote down is be more spontaneous. Life is too short. Leave, find, go, new. Okay, that was all for the lifestyle stuff. That was a lot. The next section is mindset. So it kind of goes into the lifestyle stuff, but I feel like lifestyle was more like the way I want to live as a person, and mindset is more like just stuff that's up here. So the first thing I have down for mindset is don't apologize or feel ashamed for being yourself. This kind of goes into like being like embarrassed. Like embarrassment is a figure of your imagination. It's not real. Secondhand embarrassment that's when someone is embarrassed for you, but that doesn't mean you have to be embarrassed. Does that make sense? It's like, don't apologize for being yourself. If you like something that someone else is like, or like judging you for, okay. And don't apologize for being yourself and liking your own things. And I feel like I used to be like this a lot. I've definitely gotten better at it. I should have highlighted this as something I'm already doing. But I still feel like I do it sometimes where like people judge me for something and I'll like feel the need to like have to agree with them, I guess. But I definitely used to be worse. I guess it's kind of the same thing as like being a people pleaser. I was a huge people pleaser. I feel like I'm not as much anymore. The next one I have is you are the prize. Oh my God. If you know who Christian Walker is, oh my gosh, he is the best motivational speaker I've ever. Oh my God. Okay, so you should look him up on Instagram and TikTok because he literally sits in his car with his iced coffee and he just yells advice at you, and it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need therapy. I just need Christian Walker yelling at me at 7 a.m. in the morning. These next two things I wrote down were literally stuff that like he says a lot. So he always says like, you are the prize. The other person isn't the prize. You are the prize. They are lucky to have you. The other thing is know your worth, in caps. Don't settle for less. You know what you want and what you deserve. You are queen energy. That's something he also says. I'm literally quoting him because he's literally the most inspirational person ever. I'm like, oh, you're so right. Like anyone else can say it, but the way he says it, it works. It just works. And I'm like, oh, queen, you're right. You are the queen. Know your worth. You are the prize. And don't let anyone tell you differently or settle for less. Thank you. The next thing is don't fight for someone who isn't fighting for you. Put just as much, if not less, effort into someone else as they are for you. This is also something that he was kind of talking about, Christian Walker. It's something he talks about a lot, is like, if someone's like not going after you, you don't go after them. You know what I mean? And this can be something within friendships and relationships, whatever. It's like if someone's not putting effort into you, don't feel like you have to put more into them to make them come back to you. Like, no, they are showing you how much they care. Like, you either take it or you leave it. And if you're going to take it, then you don't put in more than they are into you. If someone's making you feel like, oh my gosh, like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I do something to hurt them? And you're like, no, I didn't do anything. And they're like, no, you didn't do anything. Then why am I trying to make up for something like I did do something? Like, they told me I didn't. I know I didn't. So why am I trying to like make up for some wrongdoing that I didn't even do? And that's something I also feel like I've been doing better about. I should have highlighted that one as well as something I'm already kind of doing because I have that mindset. Okay, this is something I highlighted as something I feel like I'm already doing, but it's stand up for yourself and the people you love. And I feel like I've already started doing this, but it's kind of like just stand up for your beliefs, you know. If you believe something and someone's, you know, going against what you believe, like stand up for yourself and stand up for what you believe in and don't double down and don't be a people pleaser, basically, as we were talking about earlier. And obviously the people you love too. If someone's hurting someone you love or your family, your friends, your partner, like you stand up for them, period. The next thing is do what you want, be who you want, wear what you want, look how you want. There is no time like the present. If you wouldn't judge someone else, don't judge yourself. Okay, I'm going to talk about this for a second because I feel like it'll be like more of a journey for me. Like it's obviously, none of these are going to be like a quick like change. Like it's not just like I wrote this down and boom, I'm a different person. Like everything is going to be a journey in order to change and grow as a person. But something I've noticed is like, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I love this style, for example. Okay, I'm giving you an example. I love this style and oh my gosh, this is so cute. And I want to wear this so bad, but I feel like people would judge me. I feel like people would judge me if I wore that. I see someone else wear it and I'm like, period, that is so cute. I compliment them right away. I love complimenting people, especially in outfits that like I know I wouldn't wear, because I'm like, they may have been that way too at some point where they're like, people are going to judge me, and then one day They're like, no, I'm not letting people judge me anymore. I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm like, period, I want to be like you. So I compliment them. If you want to judge someone else for doing something, don't judge yourself. So I'm not judging these people that are dressing this certain way, but still I myself am like judging myself for it. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. If I want to judge someone else for doing something, why am I judging myself for doing it? You know what I mean? And of course, like, anywhere you go, like, there are going to be some people that judge you, but if you don't do it, no one will. Like, those people inspire me to do it, and that's what inspired me to write this down and hopefully make that change. Okay, this is a quote that Christian Walker said. Again, I'm sorry guys. You should just watch his videos. Don't watch me anymore. I'm just kidding. Watch me, please. So he said, in quotes, "If you won't do or be this for me, somebody else will." I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, that was all for the mindset. The next thing is goals/accomplishments. So I know I was talking about this earlier, how like resolutions like shouldn't always be like goals, but I put /accomplishments because they're more kind of things where like I'm like, these are things that I'm going to accomplish this year, and I kind of like already know I'm going to accomplish them, but it's so I can look back at the end of this year going into 2026 and being like, did I accomplish these? Yes. And they're not outlandish things, like they're things I'm already actively or surely planning on doing. So the first thing is travel to one place if able. Obviously, life happens. Finances aren't great sometimes. Last year I wasn't able to travel. I wanted to travel, but I wasn't able to. That's okay. So that's why I put if able, because it gives myself, because I'm able to free myself of that pressure. Because if I look back in 2026 and I don't travel anywhere and it's like, travel to one place, I'm going to be like, damn it, I didn't travel anywhere. But now I can look at it and be like, if able. Yeah, I wasn't able to this year. That's okay. Now I'm hoping right now that I can travel to one place this year. I have a few places in mind. Might go somewhere for my birthday because I'm turning 20 and that makes me really sad, and I want to be able to look back on my birthday and make it feel like a core memory, which is another accomplishment I wrote down, is like make your 20th birthday fun/happy, a core memory. So if I don't end up traveling, I still want to do something fun so I can be like, oh my gosh, like this was such a good birthday, instead of I was crying in my bed because I'll never be a teenager again. You know? I need water. Oh my god, I'm dying. Yummy! And if I don't end up traveling for my birthday, I hopefully want to travel to at least, like I said, at least one place in the summer. I have a few places in mind, but you know, maybe it'll be out of the country, maybe it won't. I found that I love traveling and finding new places and seeing new places. So that's something I'd like to do if I'm able to. So the next thing is apply to study abroad. I'm planning on studying abroad in the spring semester of my junior year, so spring of 2026. And I have to apply before October of this year. So that's one thing I'm planning on doing, is kind of figuring out where do I want to go. What I'm deciding between right now, that may change, but I don't think it will, is either England or Italy. So kind of researching, finding a school I want to apply. Boom. I already said this, but make your 20th birthday fun, happy, a core memory. So those are my 3 goals/accomplishments that I have for this year. And then lastly, I wrote a little quote, and this quote resonates with me a lot. It's just always been my favorite quote. I always said that if I ever got a tattoo, it would be to tattoo this quote on my body. So basically, this isn't a quote that's just for like this year. I know people do like quotes of the year, words of the year. I don't have one of those at the moment. I might come up with one later, but I think this is just a good quote in general for any time of life. Everything happens for a reason. Every good thing that happens for a reason. Every bad thing that happens for a reason. And you just have to trust God or whoever, whatever you believe in, that was meant to happen. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I feel like the worst I've ever been. Why did this happen to me? Blah, 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 blah. And later, it may be a few weeks later, it may be a few days later, maybe a few months later, maybe a year later. And I look back and I'm like, wow, that had to happen in order for this good thing to happen to me. Everything happens for a freaking reason, and it's so real. And literally every bad thing that I've ever experienced had something good come out of it. And I can think of 2 bad things that have happened to me, and I'm still waiting for those good things to come from them. But I know they're gonna come, and you will live life so much happier that way, because it's so true. I think your outlook on life is gonna help you a lot. So that's just my outlook, that everything happens for a reason, and it's so true. And even though hard times are hard to get through, that has helped me get through hard times a lot easier. So those are all my 2025 New Year's resolutions. I had such a fun time doing this, and I think this was so good for me. And I hope it inspired you to maybe journal or do something like this as well. I hope some of my resolutions maybe inspired you in a way of maybe some changes that you want to make to your life this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, give it a like if you enjoyed. Comment some love, because I always love to see it. I feel like that's become my new little outro. I feel like I've said that for like the past few videos. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. Something else I want to do is film and get better at editing more, because sometimes I get in really bad slumps. Just like with reading, I just get in bad slumps with filming and editing. So hopefully that'll be another change. I'll probably have to write that one down too. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!